Another massive setback for Pakistan on the world stage. Now, the Asia Pacific wing of the Financial Action Task Force has downgraded Pakistan and blacklisted it for its failure to meet its standards. Now, Pakistan was adjudged as non compliant in 32 of the 40 compliance parameters, a clear recognition of the deficiencies in Islamabad's anti money laundering and combating terror financing efforts. I'm joined by Shishir Gupta. Shishir, uh, what does this mean for Pakistan? The economy is already in tatters. Now, this FATF blacklisting, what are the implications, immediate implications in the short run?
First, let me tell you what has happened. In the past 2 days, the Asia Pacific wing of the FATF, it's an associate of FATF, it met in Canberra. They deliberated for over 7 hours, in which they found that apart from these 32 out of 40, where they found Pakistan to be deficient, their parameters were low from in 10 out of 11 parameters.
Right.
They found low in that. And then they recommended it, what is called as, it's got a technical term, it says APG has placed Pakistan in an enhanced expedited follow-up list, blacklist for failure to meet its standards.
Right.
So the effectiveness parameters, the Pakistan was found to be just low in 10 out of 11. This means that the pressure now is on Pakistan, because these recommendations will be going to the Paris conference, which is the annual
October.
conference, which is in October,
Right.
where Pakistan has to give a reply to the 27-point action point plan prepared by the FATF,
Right.
which it has to come up with as to what it has done in those 27-point action plan.
Right. So clearly, all these efforts in the recent past, the FIRs that it launched against terror groups operating on its soil, the arrest of Hafiz Saeed, all of these things. I mean, clearly, it's not worked and cut much ice with the FATF, because they see it for what it is, a smokescreen.
You see, as far as filing of FIRs goes, I will tell my viewers that the man who was principally responsible for 2611, his name was Zakiur Rahman Lakwi. Zakiur Rahman Lakwi was taken into custody by the Pakistanis post 2611, and within a year, he produced a child in custody.
Right.
So this is exactly what happens when we talk about Pakistan treating its own jihadis. Now, as far as Pakistan goes, the viewer should know that there are 46 jihadi groups operating in Pakistan. There are groups operating against India. Principally, you have the Lashkar-e-Taiba, the Jaish-e-Mohammed, the Hizbul Mujahideen.
Right.
On the Afghanistan side, you have a host of groups operating against Afghanistan, and the Taliban Shura actually lives in Quetta. So the point is that Pakistan is miles and miles away from what it needs to do as far as terrorism goes, and it's actually a swamp of terror. Only that the FATF has realized it now.
Actually, I wouldn't say that they've realized it now. They've been realizing it for quite a bit, but Pakistan was in the grey list earlier, and
It
now
is still in the grey list.
And now with this blacklist.
Yes. So what happens in this is that this is a huge setback, principally. But I need to see what happens in the Paris meeting,
Right.
because this time the presidency of FATF is held by the Chinese banker.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so we do not know, with China being an all-weather ally of Pakistan, and it stood with Pakistan even on the designation of Masood Azhar for nearly 4 times, till such time that China was totally exposed in the UNSC, where the Americans and the French said that let's debate it in the assembly. Right. On the entire thing. So I do not know really whether the FATF will be able to blacklist it this time. But if you look at the blacklist, you have possibly the worst of state players involved in that. You have places like Sudan, Somalia, all sorts of countries, Libya. So what happens in this is that once you're placed in the blacklist, then the multilateral institutions don't lend you money.
Right.
Even if they lend you money, the risk is so high they increase their interest rate.
Interest rates.
Once the interest rate goes high, nobody lends you money. It has also impact on your stock markets. It has also impact on virtually everything that you deal with.
And has an impact on the global perception against you.
Absolutely. And this APG recommendation comes on the eve of the G7 summit.
Absolutely.
So this will feature in big way in the G7 summit, because FATF is a creation of G7. So that is why Pakistan really is in hot water right now. Now the problem with Pakistan is Pakistan wants to do some sort of militant action in Kashmir to show that Kashmir is in the boil.
Kashmir is boiling, yeah.
But Pakistan is now stuck in this thing that once it does something, it again goes into this whole business of the FATF thing. So it's a catch-22 kind of situation for Pakistan. Right. But again, as I said, Pakistan for the past 20 years has actually been promoting terror, yet acting as a victim of terror also.
Right, 2 steps forwards and 1 step backward approach. But it might, this FATF action might actually, as you're suggesting, be good news for Kashmir, because whatever misadventure that could have been in the offing from Pakistan's side, they at least, I'm not saying that they will halt it, but with this FATF action, but at least they'll think twice before doing something crazy there.
You see, it's easier said than done. It's not that the militant groups or the terrorist groups are totally under their control, in the sense that these people have their own agendas too. So it's not necessary that if Pakistan would want to rein in them, they would listen to them till the last word.
Right.
There have been times and time again when they've decided to act unilaterally, because just to show down Pakistan or basically take action unilaterally. So I would be very surprised if Jaish-e-Mohammed, it has a history of spectacular attacks. For instance, Lashkar-e-Taiba, they can just launch out on their own, and Pakistan would be left holding the baby.
Right. So that's all for now. Those are the implications of the anti-money laundering international body FATF on Pakistan's blacklisting. All eyes now on October and in Paris, whether Pakistan gets into more troubled waters with FATF or not. We'll keep coming back to you with more. Keep watching HindustanTimes.com.